All right, NBAers, Sorare is back for the playoffs. This first half of the first round was kind of flying blind, not really knowing what the minutes were going to look like, the playoff rotations. We've got data now. I've got projections. I've got stuff to look at. We're going to go over some of the best ones. I do have a Patreon now. I decided a couple weeks ago to sell my sheet access for my baseball content, and if any of you want it for basketball, you can certainly do that too. I know the season's coming to an end, but we will have information next year again. If you want to look at the full sheet, the full projections, go ahead and join my Patreon. You can always quit, join again when basketball season starts, or if you want to try baseball, I've got projections for that and a whole other sheet. You get access to both sheets for just $5 a month. If you decide to join the Patreon, I'll put the link in the show notes. Getting into NBA, I was waiting to see exactly how many minutes and how tight the rotations were for the playoff teams. Feel like we've got a couple games worth of data. Big minutes for the superstars, so there are definitely some advantages to be had here. We're going to go over some of those. All right, let's take a look at game week 51. All right, so the first thing you need to know is that game week goes for the second half of this first round series, basically. So it goes all the way through May 5th as the Heat beat the Celtics tonight. So that series is 1-1. All of their games will be after the cutoff on the 25th. Heat Celtics, at least 3 games. New York, Philadelphia play tomorrow. If New York wins, they could conceivably close out the series in game 4 and only play once. So New York, Philadelphia, just 1 game possibly. Could be more. Milwaukee and Indiana do not play tomorrow. So they have at least 3 more in this series. Cleveland, Orlando, they play tomorrow. This is a series that could be over with 1 more game on April 27th. In the West, the Thunder are winning right now again, but they'll have at least 2 games. Lakers, Nuggets play again tomorrow. If the Nuggets win again, it's 3-0, could be a sweep. Then they'd only have 1 game. Wolves won the first 2, but don't play tomorrow. So this series will have at least 2 more games. These 2 split. Mavericks winning last night. At least 3 more in this series. So if you did buy Google Sheet access, the way you'd sort it is click the little box in the upper left, select everything in the document. For you, you would get a commenter access, which lets you write me little notes, ask for specific things to be analyzed, and gives you the ability to sort the sheet, but not edit it, basically. So when I sort, I am looking for the current L10, which is AI, and I'm looking at the top end of their normal range minus that L10, which is AL. We go to sort range, advanced range sorting options. And the first thing I want to sort is that L10 because we're always looking at the lower end first. So we go A to Z and then AL. Do that Z to A because obviously I want the highest points first. And so when we sort that, we realize that occasionally we'll find a player down here in the 0 to 10 range that's useful. The playoffs, these are tight rotations. You're not really going to be able to use any of those guys. Let's blow this up. Okay, hopefully that's easier to see. All right, so we're going to select everything, and we're going to sort by the top end of their normal range minus their L10 score to see what the best values are this game week. There are quite a few. And there we go. So top difference here, Anthony Davis played 44 minutes once already. If he plays that many minutes, he can get you over 80 points on a good night. And with an L10 of 51, he's going to be your play of the week. Although, Denver with the 2-0 lead, if they're able to win tomorrow, make it 3-0, Lakers may just be done. Only have 1 game this coming week. But I expect them to fight. Davis is a great play. Pascal Siakam's been out of his mind. Had a great game last night. Without Giannis on the floor, he's been the best player in that series so far. 40 minutes. If he plays 40 minutes at a 34 L10, he can get you over 60. Yes, please give me a Siakam. SGA, 39 minutes. That's good enough to get him into the mid-60s at his rate. Josh Hart played 48 minutes. Did not sit the whole game last game. We're back to this with Josh Hart. 0.91 a minute. He's not as productive as some of these star players, but with that many minutes, he can get you into the upper 50s, and at 34, that is definitely in play. Jonathan Isaac is at 23, so you're obviously going to need some lower guys to make your lineups work. If Isaac can get minutes in the high 20s, which he has in this series already, he can get you numbers in the 40s if he starts blocking a lot of shots. Pat Bev's been filling in and playing a lot. He had a 37-minute game. If he gets a 37-minute game at a 0.86 a minute, you're looking at mid-40s on a good night. A couple lower guys to highlight here. Mitchell Robinson is pretty interesting. So he had a 30-minute game, 0.85 a minute, so not an offensive player, but he does block shots. He will get you rebounds. At a 13, if you can hit 35, which would be the top end of his normal range, pretty valuable guy to have at the back end of your lineups. Love Jonas Valanciunas. He's a guy we recommended for this first game. He had some nice games already. Got 29 minutes in one of them, so his minutes are definitely up. 1.11 per minute, very good. He can get you into the mid-40s with some bigger minutes. And at a 22 L10, you can use him in a lot of lineups. How about Kyle Lowry? Pretty interesting. So the least productive guy on this list at .74, 39 minutes the other night. I did not think he'd play that much. If you can get 39 minutes, I think you can get 39 points if he has a nice game. So he's somebody to consider at least with an 18 L10. And yeah, like I said, if you want to join the Patreon, if you feel like you have been just waiting for an opportunity to throw $5 at me because I've helped you win some stuff this year, by all means, check out the show notes, click that Patreon link, and help me out. And not only do you get the basketball sheet for the rest of this year and going forward, you get my baseball sheet. If you don't know anything about baseball, you can just take my projections and run with them, and you can win some over there too. You can contact me directly through the Patreon site, and we'll get you hooked up with all the access, and I'll show you how to sort everything. All right, good luck in game week 51.